This is Vibhu. I am having 17 years of experience in software development, currently working as a senior solution architect. So today we will be talking about solid design principles. So I will be creating a series of 5 videos. This is the first video series where we'll be covering single responsibility principle, the first principle, the single responsibility principle. So what solid is? Solid is a set of 5 design principles which result in readable, adaptable and scalable code. Solid principles are a set of golden rules that aim to improve the design and maintainability of the software. The solid principles have gained widespread popularity in the programming world. Now, solid has been adapted in both agile development and adaptive software development. The best way to understand solid is to break down the 5 principles and see how that looks in code. So here in this video, in the first video series, we'll be talking about the single responsibility principle. So the single responsibility principle, it states that each class or a module or a function in your program should do only one job. The benefit of programs that follow single responsibility principle is that you can change the behavior of a function by editing the single class responsible for it. Also, if a single functionality breaks, you know where the bug will be. So on my screen, on my computer screen, I am showing you the example where single responsibility principle is breaking. So in this small piece of code, there is a function register new user. So what this function is doing, it is first of all, here in this piece of section, what it is doing is that it is checking the password and the username is not empty, and based on that it will be processing some kind of business logic. This is the first thing which this function is doing. Another, or the second thing which this function is doing is that it is making a connection to the SQL database, and then it is inserting some data into this into the database. And the third thing is it is doing is that it is sending a notification email also. So here what is wrong? So the wrong is that it is doing 3 things. Rather than doing 3 things, it should do only one, which is related to processing the business logic of the user. Making a SQL connection and sending a notification email should not be part of this function. So ideally what we should do here is that we should remove this piece of code from here, which is currently being highlighted on the screen, and should make separate class. The first class will be my user repository class, which will be responsible for sending the data into the SQL database or inserting the data into the SQL. And the second class I'll be creating is the email service class. What it will be doing is that it will be responsible for sending emails to the customer. So how will it look like? So this was the example where the single responsibility principle is breaking. Instead of that, how should it look like if single responsibility is followed? It should look like this. You can clearly see that the task or the role of inserting the data into the database is being given to the user repository class, and same the email service class has been introduced here. What it will do is that it will send the email to the customer. So this was single responsibility principle. We gave an example where single responsibility principle was breaking, and then saw like how we can adhere to this kind of the principle. We modified the code, and now in the second video series which I'll be creating, I'll be demonstrating the open close principle with both the type of the example where the open close principle is breaking, and how we can like start adhering to the open close principle. Thanks for watching this video. Thank you.